Hi, I'm Becky Sunshine.
I'm Scott.
And today we're going to talk about student loans in college. Should you or shouldn't you? Let's go. Okay, so what we want to do today is just touch on some of the benefits of maybe not going to college. I know to some people they'll be like, well, we're just not going to college because we can't afford it. But this could be for people that even could maybe afford it. Just some ideas that you haven't thought of.
I think going to college is a bad idea, but I'm not against college per se. College is such a broad word. It's like saying food. You're not going to tell somebody, don't eat food.
Right.
You're going to say, eat the right kind of food. That's such a broad word.
Yes.
So, my advice is don't go to the wrong college.
Right. That's a good point. And how I steered my boys is I homeschooled them, but I didn't raise them with the idea. I didn't put that thought in their head when they were young, like you're going to go to college. You're going to go to a university and you're going to stay there and, get an education. I just never put that thought in their heads. So it's not like, they were getting to that age and they were like so disappointed because they were like missing out on something. They didn't see it that way at all. So I think it starts ahead of time. It doesn't start right at the end of high school, talking about it.
I think homeschoolers are the best people who are set up to go to college. And let me tell you why. The best way is just to tell you my story. I was homeschooled through high school and graduated high school. And then I didn't go to college. I did homeschool college. I called it Scollege because Scott College. I went to Scollege. And then I started my own business. I'm doing more Scollege where I'm teaching myself at home. But my goal is to get into a bachelor's degree program for an online accredited college. And you can work at your own pace. It's like kind of like it is a homeschool college because you work at your own pace from home, but it's fully accredited bachelor's degree program, and it's going to be for computer stuff. Because my plan is, since we're homesteaders, my plan is to get a job where you do computer stuff remotely. Because everything's with computers, and especially with the cloud now, everything's out in the cloud. It doesn't matter where you work from.
Also, a nice thing about, studying at home, finding colleges that you can do at home is the cost. And that's mainly what I want to focus on is the cost. It is so, so sad that kids are lured in to a, university lifestyle and the student debts and just, the loans and all the things that are offered to them, the credit cards at such a young age. And they're like, in their part of life, they're like, yay, let's go do it. Yay, I want to, experience everything. They don't have the ability yet to really think about what they're getting into. They're not quite mature enough yet. And if they don't have parents behind them, just saying, no, that's not a good idea. In a few years, you're going to be so burdened down with all this debt, you're going to have to pay back. And just getting going in a job market isn't as easy as you think. Yes, people like to think, oh, I have this degree in my hand now. I'm just going to snap my fingers and be making a fortune. No. It doesn't work like that. And I think that's crushes these young kids' spirits when they finally reality slaps them in the face. And it doesn't work out that way. So I think it's really, really important for parents to steer their kids in the right direction and not see them just skipping down the road of doom, financial doom at such a young age. A lot of times the kids don't want to hear it. Like I said, they're in a great time of their life. They're like, go for the gusto. And you don't really want to squash that. But then again, you don't want to see them like going for the gusto, running off the cliff either.
You got to avoid student debt at all costs.
Yes, you have to start teaching that when they're younger. Start when they're in middle school. Like, give them a bill to pay in the house so they see that comes in every single month. I think that was one of the best things I did when my kids were working at 16 is they got a bill to pay every month. And the only reason I think that is good and beneficial and the reason I did it, it was just a little bill. You have to just give them a little car insurance bill or something. But the reason I did it is I want them to see that bill comes every month after month after month after month. And for them to realize that's the bill cycle. And that is one of the best things I did, because now when they're adults, anything they purchase, buy, they know exactly that bill's going to be coming every single month, and they already know what that feels like. So I don't know how he feels that benefited him, but
Well, to understand that, you're working for your money,
yes.
and to appreciate that is such an important thing. And I don't think a lot of people nowadays have that feeling.
Yes.
Because even if you're just borrowing a bunch of money, you don't feel it. That the weight of that you have to pay it back. And everybody getting in such huge student loan debt, they do make people feel like they have to get a degree. Because if you look at job listings, every single one says, the first thing in requirements, it says bachelor's degree required, bachelor's or PhD, master's or PhD preferred, all this stuff. If you want to go down that route of getting a job, and all the job listings do say bachelor's degree required and all that, you do want to go to college, so you need to pick the right college. And I really think nowadays doing an online college that's work at your own pace, that's fully accredited, that is so much more affordable than going to a college is the right move.
Good point. So what he's trying to say in more simpler terms is you can get those degrees at a much, much, much more affordable cost, and work from home, which is going to save you money, and also work at your own pace. So if you're just like, you're a quick and snappy, smart kid, you can move through a little quicker. If you just have the personality more laid back, where you just have to take time and let things sink in, no problem. You can move at that pace. It's just so much more customizable to do it that way. And the key is that you can still get the degree at a fraction of the cost.
And when you're a homesteader and you're a minimalist and you live in a tiny house, you can work part-time. So if you have this awesome degree and you can get an awesome job making a lot of money, but then you can just work 4 days a week.
Right, because you're making a good income, so you don't need to put in 40 hours because you have a little lifestyle, simple lifestyle. So that just gets you into a position to have more of your own free time to yourself, not be burdened down with debt, and just have to, work part-time and make a good amount of money and live a pretty good life compared to most people out there.
And one thing you got to get in your head right away when you're picking your major in college is every single job stinks. There's no such thing as a fun job where it's like your passion. There's people, their job is to taste ice cream for a living. But for them, that's their job. They got to go, more ice cream I got to taste. It's my job. I got to wake up in the morning, go to the office to taste more ice cream. And they're sick of it.
Because after a while,
every job stinks.
Anything gets like that.
And even worse, if you do a job that's your passion, when it becomes your job, you lose your passion for it.
You're like, it's not as great as I used to feel it used to be.
You got to get a job where you get the most amount of money,
working
the least amount of effort, but also something that's stimulating and you can feel a sense of rewarding from doing it,
Yes,
not
that's
just,
key.
Pulling a lever all day or something. There's a lot of jobs out there which are rewarding. You're going to be intellectually stimulated and feel like you're making a good contribution to society.
That's
and so
the key.
do that. And then if your passion is painting or writing or, volunteering, you can do all that when
you'll have time.
You'll have your 4-day work week, and you can do all that on the 3 days you're off.
Yes. So these are very interesting things to think about. And like I said, the people that have kids in middle school right now, this is the time to really, really put some deep thought into some of these ideas and maybe talk it over with your child so, you can steer them in a better direction. It's not that we're against education. Not at all. Obviously, reading books, getting smarter, bettering yourself is awesome. And as human beings, that is what separates us from the animals, obviously. Our intellect and reasoning ability and all that. So, by all means, don't waste it. Get an education for sure. But you just have to be a little more strategic about it than just like following the masses. You know, it's just kind of like that's what it's become. College has become. It's just one big fat road that just leads to the universities. And it's just like, no, that's not really true. It's like there's other ways of getting an education and getting just as good of an education and doing it just a little different way, which in our opinion, and he's living proof, and my other son is living proof of how well it works, how they both have great jobs, they both turned out really smart, they both have happy lives, they're not burdened down with debt. So, I mean, it's not like we're just pulling this out of thin air.
With a lot of the online colleges, especially when you're a homeschooler, you can take tests before you even get in the program to show you know all this stuff and then have that much less work to do to get your degree. They give you credit for all the stuff you already know. So it's even better because you can get your degree really fast.
And I've always felt studying at home is just so much more rewarding and satisfying, and you get more accomplished than studying like in some classroom environment where it's just noisy and kind of a lot of movement and hectic. Studying at home is so rewarding and just enjoyable, and it makes you want learning to be fun and enjoyable because learning new things is fun and exciting. So you want to kind of keep it that way. You know, you don't want it to be a drag, like, I got to get up and go to class. Like, I just can't do it, you know. You can avoid all that by, you know, doing all your studying at home online and getting the degrees from home. Okay, so that is what I think about studying from home and what he thinks about studying from home since he grew up that way. Let's hear your thoughts and some of the ways you guys think is a good way of getting degrees without getting in debt. Also, if you'd like to go down the homestead trail, you can buy my book, Becky's Guide to Buying Land, and you can learn a little bit about that and see, you know, if that's a direction you want to take with your family. And we'll talk to you next time.
Hit the like button and subscribe. It really helps us. And if you want more videos from us, you got to do your part, and that's hitting that like button.
Okay, see you next time. Bye-bye.